Okay, so welcome back to another glorious day in the core. Now, even though our campaign ended in failure, quite a lot of you actually seem to want to just see the Mission 5 anyway. So we're going to do that and go through the Mission 5 Sulaco. Because our entire team was wiped out though, I've got myself a new one to attempt with. Because this is supposed to be the final mission in a long campaign, I'm assuming it was balanced to take losses into account. So if I just rocked up with a full team, it'd probably be too easy. So therefore I've decided to go with just the characters that were alive at this point during the actual film itself. So we've got Ripley, Hicks, Newt, and of course Broken Bishop on the ground down there. I've kitted them all out with stuff before we get started. We're using Enraged Ripley's profile, and I've given her the pulse rifle, flamethrower, because she can have that as a backup weapon with this one. Body armour, Hadley's Hope Map. We've given Hicks a smart gun, a shotgun, body armour and a medical scanner. And we've given Newt body armour and a motion tracker. So this one's going to be an interesting one because we didn't actually get to use the Alien Queen last one, and I have never used the power loader. So we'll see how this plays out for this mission. The mission goal obviously is to boot the Alien Queen out of the airlock. The way we do that is by making attacks with the power loader. When that happens, we get to bump her in some spaces that we want, and hopefully we can try and get her onto the airlock token, get it open, get her out, and shut it before we all swiftly follow her as well. So, looking into some of the details of it, it doesn't actually say what turn you start drawing motion tracker cards on. It says how many needs to go in it initially. So I'm just going to assume that we're drawing from turn 1. So the mission is a success if we kill the Alien Queen and any xenomorphs that also spawn, because more of them might pop up behind her, and at least one character survives. So we've got a very small fire team, but they are well equipped. So let's see how we do in this Mission 5 Sulaco. Okay then, so start of the turn. First off, Ripley exhausts 5 endurance cards because of her profile, and she gets to take 3 actions as a result of it. So first of all, we'll get her to move over to the airlock hatch controls. I'm using that computer token to just say where it is. I think you have to be standing on it in order to activate it. And then we'll get her second action to do a tech test to attempt to open the inner door. So then, doing a tech test with Ripley, needing a 6 or less to succeed. That's a star, we succeed. So the inner door has been opened. So what this means now is that when the inner door is open, any large model, the Queen or the power loader, even partly over the outer door tile, must roll an alien die each time they attempt to move, and on a 5 up it may, otherwise it stays where it is. We needed to get the second door open as well in order to boot everything out of the airlock, but we want to immediately get it closed as soon as we've got the Queen out, because otherwise we'll be swiftly following it. So I'm going to keep just that door open for now, and I'm going to use Ripley's third action to actually shoot at the Queen herself. So we'll use the pulse rifle to do so, so spending a card and hitting on a 7 or less. That's a miss. Okay, so Ripley's taken her turn, so we'll get Newt to activate and move into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just so she's nice and safe out of the way, and we'll get her to rest with her second action to get 4 cards back in the pile. Next, we'll get Hicks to activate, and he's going to make a beeline for the power loader. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in order to get into the power loader, they just take an interact action. And if we do that, we remove any non-backup weapon attached to the character, so his smart gun goes away. Yep, so the smart gun goes away, and then we paste the power loader overlay onto his profile there. So usually, as a grunt, his stats would be speed 4, defense 4, melee 2. They're now speed 3, defense 8, melee 4. So quite a significant little bump in power there. Okay, so Broken Bishop isn't really part of the fire team, but each turn he takes 1 activation. If he's not on the airlock control space, he just moves a single space towards it. When he does get there, he has a tech value of 8, and he'll try and open the airlock doors. So it's up to us to make sure that the Queen is there by the time he arrives. So into the alien phase then. The Queen activates like any other alien model, and she moves 6. But she can't end her space on a object surrounded in the white. So, for example, she couldn't stand on this box because it completely takes up a space, so she won't be able to sit there. But with this one, because it's only protruding in, she can move past it. So she will move 6 spaces. 1, 2, and we'll start to get her coming this way. 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's heading after Ripley. No blips on the board, but I'm assuming we're drawing motion tracker cards from turn 1. It doesn't say on the mission sheet, but because of that I assume we do. So, drawing 2 motion tracker cards. First one. 2 blips on 1, exhaust 6 cards. And we get 2 blips on spawn point 1. So they are in line of sight of everyone. 2 and 4 xenomorphs. And the next one, false alarm, recycle a card. Okay then, so 6 xenomorphs are following the queen out and into the hangar as we move into turn 2. So at the start of the turn, Ripley activates and immediately exhausts 5 cards. So for Ripley's first action then, she's going to fire into this group of 4 xenomorphs with the pulse rifle, spends a card to do so, hits the lead one on a 7 or less. That's a 7, kills 1, spends another card, 6 or less. That's an 8, misses, so just a single xenomorph killed. So, I tried looking this up in the rulebook and in the FAQ about using the flamethrower on the queen. Because usually when you attack her with things like the pulse rifle or the smart gun, for each hit you get, you apply one of the damage tokens here onto the queen. But that wouldn't really make sense with the flamethrower, because if you hit once, you score 1 hit, that doesn't seem like it should be it. So I'm going to house rule it that for each space that the flamethrower splashes onto, that the queen's base is on, so for a maximum of 4 hits, we'll roll for each one of those instances, hitting on a 7. So we'll fire Ripley's flamer this spot away, 1, 2 spaces away, so it splashes once, twice onto the queen. So spending 2 cards to do that, and rolling 2 dice, needing 7 or less for a hit on either. So hits once, misses. So just a single point of damage on the queen from the flamethrower. I think what we'll do is we'll get Ripley to rest for her third action, which allows us to draw some cards into our hand. 2 of them. 1, 2, and then we'll recycle 3. Okay, whilst that's going on, we'll get Hicks to activate, and he's going to come stomping out the hangar with the power loader. So his speed has now been reduced to 3. So we'll get him to move 1, 2. Do we go the long way round? Yeah, let's go the long way, because I don't want that power loader ending up on the airlock when it eventually vents, so we'll go him this way. 1, 2, 3. Newt is fine where she is, so I'll get her to rest twice, recycling 8 cards back into the deck. Broken Bishop activates, and he just moves 1 space over. Okay then, so moving into the alien phase. So we do have active xenomorphs, so let's move the queen first. 1, 2, 1, 2. So equidistant between where she could go, so let's just roll for it. 1 to 3, she goes after Ripley. She goes after the power loader. 1, 2, and has a go at the power loader. So when she's making an attack, she does it just like a normal xenomorph, but she always adds 3 to the roll. Okay, and so I can't see anything that says that we can't fire defensive fire. So Ripley will take a shot into the queen with her pulse rifle, spending a card to do so. Hits on a 4 or less. That's a star. Hits once, spend again. Hitting on a 3 or less. No. So just a second point of damage on the queen. Okay, so the rulebook's making the distinction that when you get in the power loader, you get rid of a non-backup weapon, and it makes that twice, that you can have a non-backup weapon equipped whilst you're in the power loader. So that implies to me that Hicks still has access to his shotgun and can fire it defensively when the queen's coming in. So with that in mind, we'll fire the shotgun blast into the queen, so spends a card to do so, hits on a 6 or less. That's a 6, so that's another point of damage to the queen. Should mention as well what these damages we're adding up do. So we can't kill the queen by any other means than the airlock. What the damage does though is if it equals 6 or more, when the queen activates, she does not move, she instead removes all damage tokens. So the point of damaging it is to get her to stop moving around. So once we've got her where we need her, she'll have to stay put. So the rest of the xenomorphs then, they get to move 6. So this pile of 3 here goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right in front of Ripley. And these 2 here get to move 6 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No blips on the board, but we do draw motion tracker cards. 2 of them. First one, blip on 1. It is in line of sight, so it does not move 4 spaces. Another one, another blip on 1. So 2 more blips have appeared on spawn point 1, 3, and a single xenomorph for a total of 4. And I've just remembered as well that we didn't actually make an attack with the alien queen. Definitely need to do that. So the queen obviously survived the defensive fire and now makes a swipe at the power loader. Now she adds 3 to the result, but because Hicks has his shotgun, he minuses 1 from it. So instead we're adding 2 to the result. The power loader's defense value is 8. That's a 3, adding 2 to it becomes 5, well within tolerance for the power loader's defense. So nothing that Hicks needs to worry about right now. Okay, so all the xenomorphs have moved, all the motion tracks have been drawn, they've attacked. Great, into then turn 3. Start turn 3, Ripley activates, exhausting 5 cards automatically. And for her first activation, she'll fire the flamethrower onto this pile here, so it splashes onto the second one for 2 cards. So there's 3 in that first one and 2 in that second one. So the ones with 3, 7 or less to kill. 1 lives, 1 dies, 2 live. So just 1 kill from that one. And then the 2 xenomorphs next to it, 7 or less. Kills 1, kills both. Both those xenomorphs have died. Action number 2 then for Ripley. Do you know what? It's probably more efficient just to fire the flamer again, so we'll fire it on the exact same one, spending 2 cards to do so. 7 or less kills those 2. 1 lives again. 1 dies. Single xenomorph left. So that's bumped Ripley's aim dial to 5 when she fired the flamer. So let's try and polish it off with the pulse rifle. Spends a card to do so. Hits on a 5 or less. That's a 3. Kills it. And let's keep spending to attack these xenomorphs over here. Hitting one of the big ones on a 4 or less. No, misses. Okay, that's Ripley done. Newt's still fine in the cryo chamber, so we'll get her to rest twice and get 8 cards back in the game. Okay, get Bishop to activate, he moves along 1. And then we'll get Hicks in the power loader to activate. So he'll make a swipe at the alien queen. So how this works with him is you roll the marine die, and if you roll under the aim number you score a hit. If we hit the queen, we immediately move her 2 spaces in any direction and then move the power loader to stay adjacent to it. Also, if we roll a 2 or less, we immediately make another attack as part of the same action. So he's using his first action to attack with the power loader. His aim dial is currently on 6, so looking for 6 or less. That is an 8, so he missed. So let's have him another go. However, once you make an attack with the power loader, it instead of reducing the aim dial by 1, it reduces it by 2. Okay, so we'll get Hicks to attack the queen again, hitting on a 4 or less this time. That's a 5, misses again. And that's him done, and his aim dial is reduced to 2. Okay, so that's the Marines done. So moving into the alien phase then. So first off, the queen takes a swipe at Hicks. She still makes her attack against Hicks though. Adding 2 to the result because the queen adds 3, but Hicks's shotgun minuses 1, and the power loader's defense value is 8. Okay, so that still adds 2, becomes 11. That would be a kill. Let's see if we've got anything to help with that. Right, so we're going to have to rely on Hicks's body armour. So if we fail the defense roll, reveal a card. We're looking for green or yellow. It's green. If it's green, re-roll the defense roll. So re-rolling that defense roll. Oh no, exact same result. That is still a kill. Oh, God's sake. Okay, so Hicks has been killed whilst using the power loader. So the overlay goes away from his board and he is dead. So we don't put his model back on the board. The power loader stays where it is, but it is considered empty for now. We also have the rest of the xenomorphs that are going to move. So these guys move 6. No blips on the board, but we do draw motion trackers, 2 of them. Blip on 4. Blip on spawn point 4, Ripley can see it. It's 3 xenomorphs. And the next one, 2 blips on floor. After you place blips, move each blip and play 3 spaces. So 2 more blips appear on spawn point 4. They move 3. 1, 2. Single and 2 xenomorphs, both of which would make an attack against Ripley, but she does have the opportunity to defensive fire. Okay, so quite a few xenomorphs coming in and attacking Ripley right now. We could defensive fire with her, but she'd basically be hitting on a 1 after firing off into the Queen, so we will elect not to. So this xenomorph on his own has a swipe at Ripley. Her defense value is currently 6. Oh, come on! What's with my rolling today? Okay, we're going to have to rely on Ripley's body armour. It's a yellow that allows us to reroll the defense roll. I'm going to use the other dice, I don't trust that one. Ripley's defense is 6. Okay, so it's not a kill, but Ripley is knocked down. And there's nothing we can really do about that, unfortunately. Okay. And the 2 xenomorphs that came in, would they also attack it? I think they would. So adding 1 to the result. That would also knock it down. Okay, I think that is therefore mission failure. We've got nothing to get Ripley back up. She means you get captured next turn. Newt has no weapons. Hicks is dead. Bishop can't do shit. That's us finished. So, an unsuccessful dive at Sulaco. We may attempt this again with more figures, I think, next time. But that's what we get sometimes. So the roll of the dice are not in our favour this time. But hell, that's just what you get served sometimes when you have another glorious day in the Corps. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you again next time.